The new Thornhill Silver Swarm kicking off Peach's Pip Party on K-Bear 101 on this Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. I need to get used to this new setup here in studio. I do really like it, though. The computers are all in one line. It's nice. Victor, Josh, and Jade have been messing with the lighting and cameras in here, getting those set up. I'm hoping it'll look good for tomorrow when I record my interview with Shane Told of Silverstein. I'll be chatting with him about not one, but two albums that are coming our way this year from the band. Silverstein is actually going to be in Salt Lake City tonight as well. That show has been on our concert calendar for a little while now at riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. Should be nice to chat with him. Got a new camera in here. Got some lighting in here. The social media posts are about to be high quality. High quality. I shouldn't promise that. I'm hoping they are. But if you don't follow us on any social media platform, K-Bear 101 FM on literally everything. YouTube is K-Bear 101 RMG. And if you want to get a hold of me, I am in studio today. The phone number, 208-535-1015. We'll continue Peach's Pip Party here in just a few. Victor, you guys keep coming in and interrupting my show.
I know. Yeah, that's what we do. Peaches, move. Let me plug this in. Let me unplug that. Peaches, get out of the way. Okay, Peaches, we're done. Oh, Peaches, move.
You came back in here to plug something back in. I think it's the new camera.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
As you were doing that, this article pops up from the good old Radio Prep.
Oh, boy.
About how Wendy's supposedly has a T-Rex burger. Have you seen the news about this?
No. T-Rex burger, what's on it?
9 beef patties, cheese, lettuce, onions, tomatoes, pickles, ketchup, and mayo, all stacked between 2 buns.
Okay.
I'm thinking this is just some sort of like fan creation that someone took, what's the biggest burger they have? The Dave's 4x4?
Yeah, if they even still have that. I don't know.
Because I know In-N-Out, the biggest burger you can get is the 4x4 because that's the if you go anything beyond that, the quality goes way down, and In-N-Out doesn't like that at all.
Oh, so you can't just walk in and be like, give me a 10x10.
Well, what you can do is you can get a 4x4 and then ask for 6 Flying Dutchmans.
Okay.
Which Flying Dutchmans are 2 meat, 2 cheese just by themselves.
Oh, okay.
It's on the secret menu.
Okay.
You can then take those 2 meats and those 6 meats and 6 cheeses, put it on top of the 4x4. There you go. There's your 10 patty burger if you really wanted to do that.
But you have to do it yourself.
Right.
What a pain.
That's why if you see the news about like somebody ordering a 100 by 100, it's because they got a 4x4. And then what's 96 divided by 2?
96 divided by 2 would be 48.
48 Flying Dutchmans.
Wow.
And then they just decided to put it all together.
What a pain.
Right.
I think In-N-Out should just put them together for people.
Well, there was for a little while there at In-N-Out, there was a couple people that they did this whole online video about how you can order a burger California style now. And you can get avocado and bacon on it. And that drove every single In-N-Out employee, including me, nuts.
Well, because you don't have those ingredients in the store.
You had all these gullible people going to the counter saying, oh, can I get my burger California style like I saw in this video? And then all of us would just,
Now, we
don't have that.
I do wonder, why doesn't In-N-Out have bacon?
Quality, distribution, all that stuff. It's all one big system.
Yeah.
It's the same old system that they've been doing since 1948.
Because I could understand leaving out all of these other items, but
they haven't
bacon?
They haven't added anything to their menu since it opened, I think.
Well,
the only time they've added something is they added Blue Powerade to the drink machine. That was it.
Okay. Well, that is the reason that their drive-throughs so fast, because all they make is burgers.
Well, it also depends on how many people are in front of you that are ordering for the entire family.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. It's not the restaurant's fault that there's some person, 2 cars in front of you ordering for 12 kids. They got to pull out the phone and reiterate all the orders with each kid individually.
But
they're
if
the worst people.
If you're at a different fast food place that has chicken and tacos and like everything, it's going to take longer because, they're not just churning, like In-N-Out, they're just constantly cooking.
Well, what's the name of the restaurant?
In-N-Out.
Yeah, you're in and out of there.
Yeah. And so that's one of the reasons I appreciate it because, even if it's slammed, you still get your food fairly fast, where other places, if they're slammed, I would just leave.
Yeah, the last time I went to a concert in Boise, I was really not wanting to wait in the line. I'm like, you know what, I'll do it. I haven't had it in a while. It was done within 15 minutes. I spent more time at the local I'm not even going to say their name because I don't want to publicly shame them, but the nearby fast food restaurant. I've spent more time in that drive-through.
There have been a few that I got stuck in for a very long time. So hopefully one of these days we will get, well, I don't know if I hope we get In-N-Out. I might eat too many burgers. They got that value thing going. That's why we've talked about it a lot on air. People will compare them to like gourmet burgers. And it's like, no, you got to compare it to McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, etc. The price and convenience, how fast you get it. That's why people love In-N-Out Burger. And it is a really good burger, but the price is right.
Oh, yeah.
The price is great.
Definitely. But we got to go to Wendy's and see if this T-Rex burger is real. Who's going to be the one guy who's going to go up to the counter? Can I get a T-Rex burger? And they're probably going to look at you like, what? What are you talking about?
And how much would it cost? I mean,
where do they get this from?
10 patties? So it's got to be at least $20.
It came from the New York Post, this whole article. Oh, but see, this one random dude on TikTok, Joe O Eats, said he bought it, and he shows a picture of it. Doesn't even look appetizing at all. It looks like a big sloppy mess.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't look fun.
And how are you going to fit your mouth around that? It's just too much.
You're not. You're going to end up putting it on a plate and eating slabs of beef with a fork.
Oh, wait. Here we go. Clocking in at around 3,000 calories.
Perfect.
The bulky burger can cost between $22 to $30, depending on the Wendy's location. But it isn't available at all chain stops. Essentially, I think he knew one of the workers.
Yeah.
They decided, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead. This guy has a famous TikTok account. Let's just give him a 9-stack burger.
Probably. I mean, when I worked at McDonald's, you could order extra patties. So you could probably give me a Dave's 4x4 or 3x3, and I want 6 extra patties on it. Mm-hmm. And I would assume you could do it that way. But I don't know. I mean, I guess we're going to have to go to Wendy's.
Sure.
Try to order a 10-patty burger.
Field trip. Let's go. Could we qualify this as a local genius of the day? This man out of Caldwell, he was caught trying to essentially steal from Walmart. He didn't necessarily steal, like take the grill out of the store by himself and hid it under his T-shirt or something like that. No, he had a ring on his finger with a barcode specifically for tomato soup, which he wore on his finger he would then scan the large items with, or pretend he's scanning the large item, but instead he was using the barcode on his finger, causing the system to register the items at a much lower price. On this occasion, he was trying to steal a grill valued at $300. This is not the first time he's tried doing this at the Caldwell Walmart. So yeah, he got arrested. You can find the full news article about this funny story at eastidahonews.com. Even the Caldwell chief of police said, hey, sorry, your tactics didn't work this time, but we appreciate your creativity. Genius of the day, which, by the way, you can hear every weekday morning, 6:45 on the Victor Wiltz Show. You ever meet someone and within 5 minutes, you know everything there is to know about this person, whether you want to or not? Well, I saw this question. What's something that people turn into their whole personality? This was on Ask Reddit. I might need to make this for my question for to each their own. Some of the responses, of course, politics. Everyone knows someone, that exact someone, whether it's in your family or someone you know, like friend-wise, that's obsessed with politics. And they can't go a day without talking about politics, explaining their opinion, trying to convert people into believing their opinion, that sort of thing. Another answer here, being from New York. I don't really see that as much anymore. I do see people either living in Texas or being from Texas. Actually, more so, people just now moving to Texas. There was one person in particular, I've mentioned that person on the show, I think once before, where they just moved to Texas, and that's all they talked about, just how great the weather is. They love it there in Texas, and it was like nonstop posting. Being a mom, oh, sure, that's another one. Their work, their kids, their partner, their diet. What's something that people turn into their whole personality? That might need to be my question for today, is to each their own. We'll see. The trade of Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis not only shocked the entire league, it stunned Luka's dad, Sasa. Sasa is a former basketball coach and an analyst for Arena Sports in Slovenia. And on Monday, he said, I think that exactly this secrecy, or should I say from some individuals, hypocrisy hurts me personally because I think that Luka absolutely doesn't deserve this. I feel like this is very unfair from some individuals because I know that Luka respected Dallas a lot. He respected the whole city, helped children. It was never a problem for him to go to hospitals and orphanages and all these charity events. It was not even a problem last year when one individual said he's not fit enough. The trade of Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis also shocked Shams, the guy who is best known for just dropping those sham bombs, those trade alerts right as they happen. He's the most plugged-in NBA reporter out there. Even though he breaks more NBA stories than anyone, Shams didn't break this one. All the dealings were so private that even he didn't get wind of the big move. When he finally learned what happened, he admitted that he thought his phone was hacked. We now know it wasn't a prank. Instead, it was a real deal that instantly rewrote the NBA landscape. A lot of people online calling it, well, the NBA ratings are down. We got to put Luka on the Lakers to really spice things up. There was a person analyzing the entire thing, like back when Shaq signed with the Lakers, all that stuff. But anyway, going back to the Shot Clock Sports Update here, professional football. When Daniel Snyder sold the Washington Commanders to the new owner, Josh Harris, there was some talk that Harris might change the name of the team. Well, it looks like that isn't happening. Harris announced that the Commanders' name is now being embraced by the team, culture, and coaching staff. While some fans are still nostalgic for the old name, the impressive season just enjoyed by the Commanders and their fans have made the new name more acceptable. New ownership, new success, a new era. It kind of makes sense for the team to keep rolling with how things are now. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Barrel 101. K-Barrel 101, it was last night that I was sitting there playing Xbox on Discord with my friends as per usual. And I open up Facebook on my phone. The first thing I see is this person asking, hey, where can I find the Post Malone Oreos? And I looked at the comment section. There was one comment, and that person said, hey, they're at Brolem's on Ammon, or in Ammon, I should say. I immediately got my keys, drove over there, got the Oreos. They were in the middle of every other Oreo flavor. Tiny little packaging. Looks way different from the normal Oreo packaging. I didn't realize how many different flavors of Oreos there are until I saw the Oreo section at Brolem's and immediately grabbed one of the packs. I'm like, you know what? We'll try this for Victor and Peaches Eats tomorrow. And we have that short now available on our YouTube as well as our Instagram. Victor said those were the best Oreos he's ever had. It was like salted caramel, shortbread, really, really good. I gave one to each other person in the building, or I just opened up the pack, said, hey, take one, take a few. Doesn't matter. That pack is now gone. There was even a coworker that came by and picked up even more of the Post Malone Oreos, saying that she could even smell them down the hallway. They didn't smell like Post Malone, what you'd expect Post Malone to smell like. They actually smelled like salted caramel. Smelled really good. Yeah, that short is available. K-Barrett 101 RMG on YouTube, as well as K-Barrett 101 FM on Instagram. And I highly recommend getting yourself a pack and trying these, and make sure to have milk right by your side too. So imagine this. You look up into the night sky. You're expecting to see stars. You're supposed to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Enthralled by the night sky. You're supposed to look up and see all the different stars and imagine how we're only a tiny speck in the galaxy, right? Well, according to some astronomers, they're already concerned about space advertising. It's not currently a problem, but the enterprise needs to be smothered before it has a chance to grow, according to a group of concerned astronomers, which makes sense. They're calling for this global ban on space advertising before it's too late. I mean, could you imagine how overwhelming it would be? You would almost feel suffocated if you were in Times Square, New York. You see all the different advertisements around you, and then you look up into the night sky and you see the Taco Bell Live Más sign or a Coca-Cola signature. I'm looking at the picture here. I'm sure in the near future, in like 10 years, somehow, some way, there's going to be space advertising. What looks to be a giant Sprite bottle floating around, making you want to drink Sprite because you saw it floating in space. It's funny how advertising works, right? It's almost like these advertisers think that if they annoy you, like if you go on Facebook and you see 5 different ads for the same company, that has never made me want to buy anything at all. And I don't think when I'm 10 years older, when I'm 38, looking up at the night sky and seeing the giant Coca-Cola logo is going to make me go, you know what? maybe I should have one. This is one of those what would you do situations. I see stories like this pop up from time to time. You go to a thrift store, some random person goes to a thrift store, buys some old looking, whatever it may be. In this case, a plate. This guy bought a pristine plate for just $5. He found out it was worth like a couple grand, I think. What would you do in that situation? Would you try to sell it? It said using Google Lens, the guy who bought the plate took a photo of the item, discovered that a similar one had recently sold for $4,400, making his decision to purchase quick and easy. So this is one of those where this guy just intentionally goes into thrift stores and tries to flip items. I think people like that have ruined the idea of going to the thrift store and actually buying things. You know, thrifting has become this like flip hobby now, very similar to Pokemon cards, just trading cards in general. Is this guy really going to try to sell this plate that I'm looking at? Because I see a photo of it here. This whole article is posted on NewYorkPost.com. It's one of those plates that you would see like in grandma's cabinet. Bring out the fine china. We're having guests over type of looking plate. Has a royal design on in the middle. Seems like a cool plate that I would hang up if I wanted to have an elegant plate in my kitchen. If I was able to sell it for a few grand, sure. But that's not going to happen. Are people scouring eBay looking for these plates that are worth a couple $1,000s? I don't think so. Imagine trying to ship this thing too. It'd be a nightmare. I'm sure I've asked this question before for To Peach Their Own, talking about what was the first video game you have ever played. You're going to see a lot of old people saying, well, Pong, the first video game that was put out there. Back when I was, I think 7 or 8 was when I got my Nintendo GameCube. It was a Christmas gift from my parents, and the two games that came with it were Crash Bandicoot, and The Wrath of Cortex, as well as SSX Tricky, one of my favorite games of all time. SSX Tricky was so much fun. I'm so hoping at some point they just remaster that, bring it back out there, put it back out there. I don't think they ever will. It had so many fun characters. Simon was my favorite. He was the weird, sadistic one. There was even a guy named JP that just kept doing the chicken dance over and over and over again. It was a real fun snowboarding game. I would consider those two to be my first ever actual video games. And yeah, I'm just scrolling here on Ask Reddit, and sure enough, I see Pawn 1979. I think it was Super Mario Bros. 3 on the NES. Someone else wrote a game I co-wrote in 1973 called Artillery. There's a lot of old Reddit users. What's going on? There's nobody like me. GTA San Andreas. There you go. This guy was 6 years old when he played GTA San Andreas. Talk about bad parents. My God. If I attempted to play GTA San Andreas as a young kid, I was only allowed to play GTA 3 when I saw it at Blockbuster years and years ago. And I think the only reason why my dad let me rent it at the time was, one, he didn't want to get me in trouble with my mom or get him in trouble with my mom, and that it was also rated T for teen. Even though it shouldn't have been, it was still rated T. And that was my first introduction into the world of Grand Theft Auto, and it's only gotten worse ever since then. Inspired by the recent events at the Grammys, you know, that one reporter that went through every interviewer's worst nightmare by calling an artist by the wrong name, calling Courtney LaPlante of Spiritbox Poppy, and luckily Courtney has a great sense of humor. She just went along with it. Should I try asking Victor, hey, how much money would you bet me to call Shane Told of Silverstein the wrong name? Maybe instead confuse him for, I don't know, someone ridiculous. Say, so what's it like being in Creed as Scott Stapp or something like that? Throw him completely off. I feel like Shane would know that I'm joking with him and go along with it too. I don't know. It would be funny if I did that to somebody and that artist just freaked out on cam. I don't think they would ever do that. I remember there was this one KTLA reporter a couple years ago, still on YouTube, still one of the funniest moments in news history, was interviewing Samuel L. Jackson. And I think there was one particular question that he confused Samuel L. Jackson for as Lawrence Fishburne. And dude, this guy kept getting roasted and roasted and roasted by Sam, just sitting there going, hey, I don't even want to go into what exactly he said because I just can't get into it, but it's a funny news clip that you should definitely check out. Tomorrow, I will have Shane from Silverstein on the show. I'll make sure to put that on our Artist Interrogations podcast when it's all said and done. And then also, hopefully, I can get it on our YouTube channel, the video version at KBear 101 RMG. Honestly, I have been contemplating getting myself a pair of Crocs just because I've always wanted to own a pair. I know quite a few people that have them. They say they're comfortable, even though they're ugly shoes. There are much more uglier shoes out there. Much worse. Much worse. Hype beast sneakers that are on the market for like thousands of dollars. Crocs are cheap. They're great for when you need to go take out the trash. You just slip them right on, even put them in sports mode if you want, considering it is icy out during the Idaho wintertime. The dumpster by my place is in the alley that has ice all over the ground. I hate taking out the trash during the winter months. I'm afraid top-heavy Peaches is going to fall over, crack the ice, crack my tailbone at the same time. And I have my AC/DC slippers, but I don't necessarily want to ruin those. I have worn those to the store before and all that, but they have been my go-to take out the trash shoes. And I kind of just want to get a pair of Crocs just in case I want to go to the movies in comforts. That's what I've been using the AC/DC slippers for. These will be like a cheap alternative. Do I plan on getting the gibbets, like those little charms for the Crocs? Not really. No, I don't plan on doing that. But I just want to have a pair of comfy slip-on shoes, and they actually make Crocs in size 16. Funny enough. Toms don't. I would love to own a pair of Toms. Shaq has a pair of Toms. He's a size 22 shoe. They only ever make size 22 shoes, big shoes for Shaq because, well, he's a partner of Tom's. They don't even go up to size 16 normally. You have to be one of their partners. So if Tom's wants to collaborate with Peach's Pit Party, I'll be all for it. Get me size 16 shoes. So a man in India, he's left with a broken heart and a missing kidney after he was scammed by the worst wife ever. He sold his kidney on the black market after his wife spent months urging him to do it so they could get money to find their 10-year-old daughter's education. I like how it says to fund their 10-year-old daughter's education and eventually their wedding. He finally found someone to purchase his organ. He had the painful procedure, got the money, but he never got to put it towards the daughter's education because the wife snatched the money and took off with her secret lover. The husband eventually learned that the wife had met a man a long time ago over Facebook, became romantically involved with him. Her plan all along was to convince her husband to sell the kidney and then abandon her family. With the help of police, he was able to track her down, confronted her. She refused to speak with him and just told him he was free to do whatever he wants and that she would soon be filing for divorce. So if you're getting stood up out there, if your Tinder date decided to catfish you, at least they didn't take your kidney. There you go. Look at the silver lining. So the fans of AC/DC that were hoping for additional dates this year might be out of luck. AC/DC announced a European summer tour that starts June 26th in Prague, Czech Republic, wraps up at Edinburgh, Scotland on August 21st. Their North American leg starts April 4th in Minneapolis, wraps up May 28th in Cleveland. I'm excited to go see them towards the end of April at the Pasadena Rose Bowl. It's going to be fun. Get to go to a concert for the very first time with both my dad and my Uncle Bob. See the crazy AC/DC for maybe the final time ever in my life, because let's be honest, those guys are going to retire at some point soon. It's already sad seeing Angus Young with his, white hair, trying to do the duck walk on stage, still wearing the schoolboy uniform. Love those guys to death, but they're going to have to retire at some point, right? At least I would. I would enjoy my retirement, go to concerts myself, say, hey, I used to do that. I was in one of the biggest bands ever, if not the biggest rock band of all time. It's crazy how huge AC/DC is. I get reminded every single time I go to a concert, and no matter what, those like that playlist of songs they play right before they go on stage, and it's always the last song that they play the loudest to kind of tell everyone to come inside and get ready for the show. It's always AC/DC, and it's, for the most part, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll or any other AC/DC classic. I don't care if you hate AC/DC or not. They're one of the biggest bands out there. And I'm very excited to see them at the Rose Bowl. But once the show is over, I'm going to be miserable because I know getting out of the Rose Bowl is going to be the worst part of the entire night. I've always wanted to go to a fast food restaurant and see a fight break out. I feel like that'd be a spectacle, right? Record it entirely, put it out there, send it over to TMZ, something like that. This 19-year-old Wingstop manager, she doused 2 customers with hot grease and ranch dressing during a confrontation Tuesday night. I don't know what caused the fight. Let's read here. According to investigators, the victims tangled with Carnell, is that her name? The Wingstop worker inside a Port St. Lucie, Florida outpost of the Chicken Wing restaurant. Of course, it was in Florida. Irene, the manager, told police that the customers, one of whom is a minor, were loud and disruptive and caused a disturbance during the dispute, which is not further detailed in an arrest report. One of the patrons pushed a container of straws off the counter. Something must have been said. I wish there was more details to it. I wish someone caught it on video. Just 2 customers getting doused, hot grease and ranch dressing. Oh, some serious burns, especially with the grease there. That would suck. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, a.k.a. Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.